What up, everybody? Welcome to Freedom Empowered. We're going to talk to you guys about great stuff today. We got a good show.
Maybe the best ever.
Yeah, I like to think of ourselves as like scientists, pirates, whatever you want to call us, but I'll go with scientists. Just like we have parts of freedom and stuff that we tell you guys that they're little test tubes and you just mix them up together and then you get your freedom, you get your happiness, your life. You know what I mean, Mason?
Yeah, I do. I do. That's a good way to look at it. We're not just here to talk to you guys. We're here to actually make something happen. We're here to make the magic of success.
Yeah, we have a formula when we come in here and talk to you guys. We have a formula. Each episode has a purpose. Well, we plan our episodes out. Everything has a purpose, and you guys are here to learn. You guys are here to listen. You guys are already listening. You guys are here to learn and better yourselves.
We must be doing something right. Hey, we keep getting more listeners. We do. You guys are multiplying every episode. It's incredible. It's exponential. So we must be doing something right. And I thank you guys for coming back every time.
Yeah, and if you guys are coming back every episode and listening and learning something, why not just share us with a friend? Or close friends. Don't share us to your fake friends. We all have those fake friends that, you say hi occasionally, you hang out with sometimes, but we're talking about your real friends, the ones you care about, really. The ones you want to see succeed.
Yeah, those fake friends you secretly don't want to succeed. Yeah, don't share them Freedom Empowered because they'll end up being successful. Right, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. For today's episode, we're going to be talking more mindset stuff, just things you need to do to get you in that direction of freedom. And I recommend having a pen and paper out, writing these things down. And we talked about it there in the show. Writing things down is important.
Right. Guys, so this is how this episode is different because we keep talking about like all these people that are massively successful and we talk about the steps they took to get there. And we're like, hey, it's easier than it looks. There's actually a science to it. There's steps you can take. Look how these people got there. But what we don't do is we don't talk about the men and women themselves, about who they are as people, Because if you really think about it, the way they got there and then the processes that we teach you guys, you have to be the right kind of person in order to even start taking those actions. You have to be, someone who's willing to learn, adapt, and has the confidence to take action before you can even start thinking about what actions do I take. And I think that's what this episode is about. It's talking about those principles, that mindset, that lifestyle, to be the kind of person that's ready to get out there and live a life of freedom. Because if you're not even ready yourself to go out there and be an independent individual, you're never going to do it. You need to be the right type of person that's ready and willing to do so.
Yeah, exactly. And we're basically trying to get to the point of telling you guys not just what to do, but basically give you a list of things that can help you do those things that we've told you in previous episodes that you need to do.
Right,
help
those
you
things, right, Nick?
The mindsets, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no. But so kind of what it's going to sound like and what we don't want it to be is we're not like your average motivational podcast. We're not here to give you a false sense of accomplishment or hope or try to leave you with a bunch of big words that are going to make you, feel like you're moving forward when you're not. You know what I mean? Because what a lot of motivational podcasts will do, not even podcast shows, people in general, your parents or whatever. No, but you know what I mean? Your parents say, oh, everyone's special. Everyone's, you can be anything you want to be. And the truth is that, while that might be true, it takes work. It takes action. So that's what we've been focusing on is that action side, that work side. But today we're going to talk about some of those things you can do just to yourself, just the ways you can better your own life to set you up for success.
Yeah, and today we have a long list of things we're going to try to hammer through them. And well, back to something Mason said. He was talking about how like the false sense of accomplishment. And I remember I was listening to a speech. I forget which celebrity was giving the speech. It doesn't really matter, but he was saying like you're not perfect. Everybody's imperfect. Your parents may tell you you're perfect just the way you are, but I think it's important that we hammer into you guys that you can always work to better yourselves. And that's basically what today's episode is about, bettering yourself so you can be more successful in life.
Right. I mean, think about it, guys. So let's go over some of the gut people that we've talked about. We've talked about young Elon, Mr. Musk, absolute savage. If you look into some of the more things he's been doing recently, this man is next level. But you look at him, you look at Jeff Bezos, you look at, even Alex Hamilton from last episode, who's just crushing life. You look at the people who made the Rega Rescue, which, a little free shout out to them. There is, I don't know, it's not specifically Rega, but there's another Swiss Alps rescue helicopter organization, and they have a series on Netflix. You guys should check it out. It's insane what they do. There was this one episode where a skier, it's the Swiss Alps, so it's not just your average mountain, and one of the skiers had fallen into a straight crevasse, like it was like 30 feet they said down, and they phoned up these guys. They rolled out on their helicopter. They had a paramedic, a flight doctor, and a master pilot. And then also what they need is when someone falls into a crevasse, they need like an expert climber. And they went in there and hooked up all these doowads and doohickeys and went down and pulled this guy out of the ground. Like, so it's amazing. And part of what it is you just see like how amazing humanity is and how amazing society is and just the crazy successes that people have. But the thing is that you look at these people and they're all going different directions, right? So you're like, how do I know what I want to do? Do I want to be a Bezos? Do I want to be a Hanold? I don't know. They all have their own direction, but guess what? They all started at the same place, and they all started as the same man who or woman who was deciding where they wanted to go, but they still had to like become the person, mentally, lifestyle wise, to be able to even start thinking about taking action in the direction and on the path that they wanted to move.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why on this episode today, we're going to look inward at how to reach that mindset, how you can get to that point in your life, and like the lifestyle necessary to get there. And I think it may be key for a lot of you guys. So let me just start by asking you this. Like, how many times in your life you feel like you know what you want to do, and you might even know like the steps you need to do, but feel like you don't have enough time or money or energy to start in that direction?
Right, guys. Yeah, don't worry about it, because there's a lot of people that feel the same way. I mean, some days even we feel like that. Everyone's got those days, and it's not about those days, but the issue is you can have a day where you feel unmotivated and, maybe you slack. But the difference is if you are in a perpetual, rut of, I don't like my job, I'm tired every day, and spending way too much money on stuff that you just don't have, you're not set up to even be willing to take advantage of that opportunity when it presents itself. That's where it's a problem. And there's a lot of people that are like that. I mean, I would almost say most people are like that, because most people, we talked in an earlier episode, work is for work and home is for play. So they'll go and work, they'll make a bunch of money, come home and just blow it all on just relaxing, having fun, buying those delicious beers or whatever. You know what I mean? Buy the cheap stuff one day. If that's your thing, you maybe buy the cheap stuff, or maybe you don't buy any beer at all. Whatever your thing is. But the point is that the best part about fixing yourself is that it's free, one. It doesn't rely on other people like creating a business would. And it's easy to do. It's literally just you focusing on yourself and making a few mental and sometimes physical decisions on how you're gonna live your life. You know, whether you're a kid in high school who just doesn't have the resources to get started, you know, maybe, as we said, working a busy job, or you're just down on your luck. There's still things you can do today. There's still things you can do to start building the habits and start setting yourself up for the day when you are ready to start taking action. Or if you already are ready to take action, just things you can do to better prepare yourself for more success.
So, so mainly, we'll just hop into the first thing we're going to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about is responsibility. Don't make excuses. You need to learn how to take responsibility, and it's your life, it's your future, your freedom. It's your responsibility. Even if it's someone else's fault, it's still you who made it possible for it to be someone else's fault. It's still your responsibility.
Right. I mean, wait. I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say it could be 100% someone else's fault. Something could happen at work. Something can happen at home. It could be 100% not your fault. Let's say your house burned down because the neighborhood kid was, you know, smoking a cigarette or something, and it burned down your house. Crazy idea, but you know, maybe it happens. It's not your fault whatsoever. But guess who's responsible for overcoming that obstacle? Not that neighborhood kid. He don't care about you whatsoever. He's gonna go hide behind, you know, his parents and whatever other, you know, rules there are in place for him to hide behind. But it's gonna be your responsibility to go and fix it. You know what I mean? Life isn't fair. You're going to encounter things that are just not your fault, but it's still up to you to overcome them.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end of the day, no one cares more about your future or your success than you do. And yeah, maybe you have your family and friends who share love and compassion for you, but no one is gonna have your drive for success or your drive for accomplishment more than you will. It's up to you, and it's your responsibility to make it happen.
Right,
You're gonna run into competitors, you're gonna run into competition, but it's all up to you.
right. And then, I mean, just don't play the blame game. This is more of a psychological thing. I've been reading a book about psychology, and it's interesting when you're talking about, you know, this idea of the blame game. If you blame someone else for something, what's their response? It's to blame you. You know what I mean? It's to counter you and say, no, it's not my fault, it's your fault. So now you got two people both shirking the responsibility. But if, let's say, it was someone, let's say you have a business and someone screws up, and you say, hey, no, it's my fault, like, my bad. And they're like, no, it's my fault. And now you have two people both taking ownership of the same issue. So now instead of having zero people taking ownership, you have two people. You know what I mean? It just nothing can come out about. There's no negative side that can come out of taking ownership, because either one, you're being a good friend and you're covering someone else's ass, or two, people just see you as someone who's, you know, a man or a woman who's grown and willing to take responsibility for their actions. Either way, it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. And taking responsibility for no matter what the situation is that's why it's our first one. It's probably arguably the most important one, because if you can take responsibility for your successes and your losses, then it can show, especially for the losses, it can show where you need to improve or how you can prevent it from happening again, and that's how it can help you towards success.
Right. But so the second one, write this down. A messy house equals a messy mind. It's a simple sentence, but there's a lot of meaning to it. You know, take care of the things that you own. You know, your house, your car, your dog. Because if you think about it, if you can't take care of your dog, how can you properly manage a business? If you can stay on top of keeping your house clean and all of your trivial, smaller responsibilities taken care of, then that builds a sense of accomplishment, that builds a sense of motivation, and it just shows that you have the discipline to, if you have the discipline to control your own life, then you're going to have the discipline to go out there and maybe do something extra, like start a business or try a new hobby. But if you can't even pay your rent and you can't even take care of your puppy, there's no way that you're going to be able to go out there and start a new hobby or start investing a little bit of money and time into a new business venture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And well, I actually like this one a lot. Messy house, messy mind. It's how you can explain something very simply. If you can go to work and be subpar at your work, part of the reason is probably because you have a messy room or a messy house. And I know that sounds kind of like extreme, but like think about it this way. Most of the people who are going to be talking down to you when you're trying to reach success or starting your own business, figure out if do they have a messy room. I guarantee 90% of the time they're going to have a messy room and they don't know what they want to do with their life, and that's why they're bringing you down.
Right.
It's such an important thing where if you can take care of the small personal things in your life and get that out of the way where it becomes second nature, and have the discipline for that where it's like you don't even think about it. It's just you wake up in the morning, oh, a pair of jeans are on the floor. I'm going to pick that up, put that in the laundry. I'm good to go. Took 30 seconds. You have all that extra time to think about the things that will actually put you towards success.
Right. Well, it's like you're creating this mindset of being proactive. You know what I mean? Because when we talk about on Freedom Empowered, we talk about people that go out there and crush life, that create their own idea of personal freedom. You know what I mean? If you look at someone like Elon Musk, he could have worked a normal job, but everything he did was extra. If you have a baseline of I feed myself, I house myself, whatever the other basic needs are, I remember to breathe. You know what I mean? But anything after that takes a little bit of extra work. Once all your basic needs are taken care of, everything after that is extra. It's you being proactive. So if you can't be proactive in your own life, you can't be proactive to go try something new, to start a new business venture. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Maybe you have, Nick. Has any of you guys seen that video of the Navy SEAL commander? He said that being a badass Navy SEAL starts with having a tight bed. If you haven't, you should look it up. It's kind of inspiring. It's kind of weird because you're thinking, how does that matter? How does keeping a tight bed really affect being a world-class warrior? And in some ways it doesn't, but at the same time, it's just a start. It's a starting point. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like that's like the important thing in sports and everything else, like sports, military, everything where like, they make you do a bunch of little dumb stuff to begin with. And you're like, oh, why do we have to do this dumb stuff? Why do I have to do this? It's more to teach you discipline on how to do things on your own, and like they may be small things, but it's just teaching you discipline. I had a wrestling coach back in high school who told us what's the definition of discipline, and he was doing something you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. And I think that's a great definition, just because you may not want to clean your room right when you wake up or make your bed right when you wake up, but if you do it, you get it out of the way and you're ready to accomplish things later that day. You don't have to worry about any of the small things later on in your day or later on in your life, whether depending on the thing or what you're gonna do. It's moving you towards success.
And then maybe, just maybe, you come up with such a good schedule, you come up with such an effective method to taking care of all the little things that you have some time left over to worry about what's important. That maybe we keep talking about cleaning your room, which I don't know, maybe Nick, it's a little psychology for Nick. Maybe he has to clean his room. That's why I keep mentioning it. But imagine you clean up your garage, and now all of a sudden, ooh, some extra space. Then you buy yourself a cool little desk and make yourself a little office, and then you have a little safe space to go to and work on some of these crazy dreams you have. It's interesting. It's interesting, and I think it's important. But there's a lot of things that are important, and we'll talk about our next one, which also relates to discipline. I mean, I think pretty much all of these relate to discipline, but the next one, you guys have heard this all the time: get in shape. This one's pretty huge. You don't have to be huge. You don't have to be yoked out of your mind. You don't have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you just start going to the gym, start working out, start getting active, you might feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Being healthy, it'll give you more energy, more confidence, and it's just another thing in your life that you're accomplishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people think, oh, getting in shape, working out, exercise makes us happy. That's just science. The endorphins in your brain that comes out, like that triggers when you're working out, is scientifically proven to make you happy. I can't tell you the specific chemicals that come out, but I know it's science. You can look it up on your Google device, and it will tell you the releasing of endorphins will make you happier in life.
Right.
And
I mean, I think it's even some of the endorphins are even similar to morphine. You know what I mean? So,
that's actually
drugs are
one of the studies relates it to morphine. The endorphins that release are very similar to morphine, where you're more relaxed, you're stress free after working out, you're less likely to have depression. But the main aspect I think we're trying to get with working out is that when you're working out and you're feeling healthier and happier, you're more likely to succeed. You're more likely to accomplish things you want to accomplish.
right. And I mean, when you guys, you remember that episode we had a couple times ago where we were talking about people playing sports and building mental toughness, physical toughness. And if you think about it, when you're a working adult, how many opportunities do you have to test your physical toughness? Not very many. Once you enter the big bad world, you probably won't be playing sports or doing too much physical competition. So making a little bit of time, whatever it is, to get a little workout in is one of those few chances you have to build your mental toughness, to build your physical toughness. And plus, you're probably so out of shape that you don't even have to work that hard to start building that toughness, because you're just going to do 10 push-ups and be out of breath, and it'll be that much easier to challenge yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe being out of shape is the key to challenging yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I personally know someone who's out of shape, Mason, and some may say he's a little bit overweight. I think he's perfect the way he is. I may just be a friend who is nice to him, but
Hey, just because you got the spaghetti body, at least you're working out a little bit. Maybe one day. If this was back in the 1500s, the big guys ruled the world.
yeah,
You'd be
big people showed a sign of wealth. I will concede to you in that. But yeah, exactly. We may not be super athletic, perfectly in shape people, but we understand the concept that working out is important, and it helps you get towards success. Almost every successful person you hear of, I guarantee they have a workout schedule of their own where they work out and they improve their physical health and then also work on their mental health outside.
right. They definitely do. But I just wanted to point out a little caveat. One of the interesting things is I just thought of it, where we touched on it being a big bad world. And I think it's kind of funny because how many times have we heard that throughout our lives? We've heard our parents say it, maybe we heard our teachers say it like, hey, beware, whenever you get out there into the big bad world, life isn't going to be friendly. And I think it's interesting because it might be true. If you have no ambition, no skill, no work ethic, no vision, then maybe the future seems scary. Maybe being out there on your own seems like, something difficult. But what I see, I mean, I know what I see, and I know what Nick sees, and I know what probably a lot of you see, especially since you've been listening to listening to our show and joining us here. But I see the world as just a life full of opportunity. You know what I mean? Because I know that no matter what challenges I face, I'm gonna do what it takes to be successful. You know what I mean? I just see the world as, instead of like a daunting world full of challenges that I may not be able to overcome or may not be able to succeed, I see it as like, hey, I know I'm going to succeed. The interesting part is going to be how hard do I have to work? What do I have to do to accomplish my goals? And I think if you're a normal person, you see benefit in that challenge. You know what I mean? They always tell you that money isn't everything, and just being rich and having instant satisfaction isn't the key to life. It's overcoming challenges. It's achieving things, and that's the way you have to look at the world. You have to look at a challenge and be excited about it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are a lot of people who fear losing, like fear that I might lose, and that's why they see the world as a big bad world. And I feel like that holds a lot of people back. And if that's what you're fearing out there, of a big bad world that they don't care about you, it's I gotta say it's somewhat true. A lot of people out there, well, after you're done with school and having that protection for your parents, they don't care if you succeed or not. A lot of people just care about themselves, their family, their business, and they're not going to worry about some random person they've never met. So it ultimately falls on you to go out there and push yourself and succeed and be better, be the best you can be.
Right.
And I feel like it all starts with the steps we're talking to you guys about today: the responsibility, the discipline, the messy room, messy mind, the staying healthy, being happier. It's all part of what we're talking about today. If you're gonna be better than the people who don't care about you, who've never met you, who have no personal attachment to you, those are just the beginning of what you need to do.
Right. The next one. This one's important. It's interesting. It might be a little new for some of you guys. I think that reading is key. Because think about it. Think about some of the books you might have read. There's somebody out there who has spent their entire life learning, studying. Not only did they spend years learning a new thing or studying it, but they wrote a book and just filled an entire book full of what they discovered. And the best part is, you can take advantage of all that knowledge in just a few hours by reading the book. You know what I mean? It's incredible. It's incredible that there's people that have spent a lifetime just discovering new ideas, just to share it all for you, with you. And you can just go to Amazon and buy the book. How easy is that? You can have it there within an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And knowledge is power. We've all heard that expression before. Knowledge is power. And you've heard it a lot probably in a negative connotation where everyone should have knowledge. But right now, we live in America. Everyone has the possibility to get knowledge, to learn things and be smarter than the people in power. And that's why we're pushing this. If you want to, I don't want to say powerful, but you want to be successful, you got to be smart. You got to know what your field is. You got to know what you want to do, and it all starts with reading. I know I spend like at least half my day. I want to say more than half my day reading articles, reading part of a book, reading stuff on new business ventures.
Right.
I'm doing something every day to
Nick
further
Nick
my
likes to
success. But
Nick likes to read about how to be the best wizard in the fairyland of Harry Potter. That's his dream, right, Nick?
I'm a Harry Potter nerd.
One day he'll get there.
Mason's just a muggle, but
Well, yeah, guys. Um, just sit on those for a little bit. We're gonna what an episode next week will be some more. I think we might start. Well, another thing is that we might start putting out more than one episode a week. We might test it within the next couple weeks. Have a second episode. See how you guys like it, and go from there. But yeah,
yeah, well, I think if so, we're gonna do part two of this episode next week because realizing now we have a lot of stuff and we don't want to bombard you guys with a bunch of different ideas and you guys not retain it all. So we're gonna have a second episode next week. It'll be part two of this episode, but back to what Mason was saying, more than one episode a week. We're gonna look into publishing 2 episodes a week, probably Tuesday. Well, we already do Tuesdays, but we're gonna do Tuesday and Friday, is what I was thinking.
right.
And we'll start off from there. And I think you guys will really enjoy that. And share this show with a friend, guys. If you want to
Yeah,
share the knowledge that you've learned here with a close
right.
friend, I think you should
It's
do it.
time for it's time for the student to become the teacher. Don't uh don't leave all these ideas to yourself. You know what I mean? And if you feel like you're not confident enough to go and teach someone else, you can always send them our way and just invite them to the show. And if you're even too scared to do that, not scared, but if you don't even want to talk to people because you don't enjoy that sort of thing, just give us a like on Facebook and let Mark Zuckerberg invite your friends for you.
Yeah, exactly. we
For
all, we
real though,
all, we all
you
know
know
how
he's doing it.
Facebook works. Facebook has its algorithms.
Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg already knows you're a Freedom Empowered fan, so you might as well just make it official, right?
Make it official, and then all your friends, they don't need to know you're Mark Zuckerberg fans, but they'll become our fans, and they'll be as successful as you are.
But yeah, guys, that's basically to finish it off. What we're talking about here is don't start thinking about investing money and start doing a bunch of crazy things until you need to do that, but don't do it until you've invested the time just to better yourself and to put yourself in the right position to be able to fucking start taking risks. My bad on that. We're trying to be a kid friendly show. But yeah, just start investing a little bit of time, start bettering your life, start creating the habits and the discipline so that when that opportunity does come and you are ready to start taking action, you'll be ready. And just start taking control of your lives. You're gonna feel better, happier, more fulfilled. Maybe you'll get some abs. Maybe your dog won't be hungry because you remember to feed him. Whatever it takes, but just set yourself up so that we can continue to grow on Freedom Empowered. We can continue to start analyzing these people that are massively successful and their techniques. You gotta be the right person. If you want to be an Elon Musk, you gotta be somebody who takes risks and has strong habits. Because we talked about it before, but Elon Musk says that he sleeps on the floor of his Tesla factory because he is so disciplined and he is so obsessed with being successful. So don't expect to have the successes he has if you don't have the discipline and the habits to do the same. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Talk to you next time.